Alright, so now we're on the back. Now, you look at all these problems, you're thinking, I gotta sit through all of this? No, we're not gonna do all of these together. I'm gonna do probably about 5 or 6 more of these. And then you'll have your assignment to work on. So when you do this, right, and again, I would do some of these, try to do this by yourself and then see if we're getting the same answer. I'm gonna start with number 4. And I'm going to switch back and forth between the two methods. Okay, so some of these I'll use double distributing, some of these I'll use the box method. For number 4, I will double distribute this one. Alright, so the first x has got to multiply the second set of parentheses. So x times x minus 6. And then the 6 has got to multiply the second set of parentheses. Now it's plus 6 times x minus 6. So let's distribute and then simplify. X times x, x squared. X times negative 6 is minus 6x. Positive 6 times x is plus 6x. And then 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. Now look at what happens here. When you combine your like terms, you have negative 6x, positive 6x. Well, negative 6 plus 6, those are opposites. When you add opposites, you get 0. So what happens is that the middle term gets canceled. So all you have is x squared minus 36. Okay. Now let's look at, we're going to do number 5 and number 6. Number 5, I'm going to do this with a box. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm just kind of switching off here. When you square a binomial, x plus 4, when you square anything, that means you are multiplying it by itself. You have to write this down. The most common mistake that people make is they square the x and they say that's x squared. And they square the 4 and that's 16. And they say that's the answer. And it drives me crazy because that is wrong. You are missing part of the problem. When you square, this is not the same as what we did a few days ago because you have a plus sign that separates these terms. You have to think of this as x plus 4 times x plus 4. So, let's do a box. X plus 4 going down, and same thing, x plus 4 going across. To get your squares, you have to multiply. X times x is x squared. X times 4 is positive 4x. 4 times x is positive 4x. 4 times 4 is 16. Now, can we combine anything? The answer is yes. You have x squared, that doesn't change. 4x plus 4x is 8x plus 16. Why was my first answer wrong? Because I forgot the middle term. You can't forget that. Don't do this. Don't be lazy. Write this out to remind yourself what you have to multiply. All right, let's do 6. Same kind of problem. I'll do this one as double distributing. First thing though, x minus 3 times x minus 3. Let me write that out. Double distribute. So the first x multiplies x minus 3. And then the second x, the negative 3, that's a negative 3, multiplies x minus 3. So minus 3 times x minus 3. Distribute x squared minus 3x. And then here, this becomes, that's a negative 3, so negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9, not 6. Negative times negative is positive, 3 times 3 is 9. Combine like terms. X squared. This becomes minus 6x. That's not 0 because they're not opposites. Plus 9. That's it. All right, how about an example? Let's look at 7. Okay, we'll do 7. 3x plus 4 times 2x minus 9. Let's box it. So 3x plus 4 times 2x minus 9. All right, let's multiply. 3x times 2x, that's 6. X to the second, add the exponents. 3x times negative 9 is minus 27x. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times negative 9 is negative 36. Combine those like terms. We get 6x squared. 8x plus negative 27. That's like 8 minus 27 is minus 19x. And then minus 36. Do you notice how when we do the box, it's always this diagonal that gets added together? That's the way that we set it up. That's almost always going to be the case. Okay? Let's look at number 8 where you've got different variables. All right, and actually let's do it with number 9. We'll do number 9 here. So we'll take number 9. Let's double distribute. So we'll get x times x plus 2y, and then we'll get, this is negative y, so minus y times x plus 2y. Now let's see, what happens here? Well, we have to distribute. X times x, x squared. X times 2y, now this is like a 1x, so 1 times 2 is 2, and then x times y is just xy, that's how we're going to write it. Okay, now we're going to distribute again. Minus y times x. This is like negative 1y and 1x. So this becomes negative 1. And I'm going to write the x first. It doesn't matter if you say yx or xy, but normally you write these in alphabetical order. So that's minus 1xy. And then this is negative 1y times 2y. That becomes negative 2y to the second. Don't forget, add the exponents when you multiply the variables. Last step here. The middle terms are the same. Like terms. 2xy minus 1xy. They're both xy's, so we can combine those. We get x squared. 2 minus 1 is just 1 xy. You don't need to put the 1 there. Minus 2y to the second. Right? Now, if you want a little extra practice, go back to number 8. Try it again. You do the box, do whichever method you want. Your answer is going to be 2x to the second plus 7xy plus 6y squared. That is your solution. Okay? Let's take number 10 and then we'll take number 11. All right, so number 10, 7x plus 5 times 3 minus x. I'm going to box it. 7x plus 5, 3. Now that's minus x or minus 1x. Fill it in. 7x times 3 is 21x. 7x times negative 1x, negative 7, x to the second. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times negative 1x is negative 5x. Notice that this is out of order. That's the difference in this problem. When you write this down as an answer, first of all, we can combine the x's. When you write it down as an answer, I'm going to put the x squared term first. So that's negative 7x squared. 21x minus 5x is positive 16x plus 15. There's your answer. All right, and let's do the last problem here. Let's do 12. Okay, we'll take number 12. You have a binomial times a trinomial. All right, this is different. Now, you can double distribute, but to be honest, I think that's going to be a huge pain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a box. Now, I'm going to make it more like a rectangle and less like a square. Now, why am I doing this? Well, my first set of parentheses is a binomial, 2x plus 1. So I've got 2 rows, but I'm going to make 3 columns because my other set of parentheses is a trinomial, x squared plus 4x minus 5. Now this is actually something, when I've taught Algebra 2, when I've taught pre-calculus, we've done this. Okay, this is a really good problem here. If you understand this, then you understand how to multiply and using the box method and how to distribute. All right, so we're going to fill this in. First square, 2x times x squared. That's 2x to the third. You have to be so careful with exponents. If you miss an exponent, you're going to get the wrong answer. 2x times 4x. That's 8x squared. 2x times negative 5. Okay, now we come to this square. 2x times negative 5 is minus 10x. Now we come down. This is 1 times x squared, so that's just 1x squared. Okay, and I could put plus 1x squared. 1 times 4x is positive 4x. 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. Okay. Now what can we combine? 2x to the third? Nope. There are no other x cubes. So down here at the bottom, we'll write 2x to the third. That stays the same. You have a 1x squared and an 8x squared. 1 plus 8 is 9x squared. You have a 4x and a negative 10x. 4 minus 10 is minus 6x. And then you have the constant minus 5. And that is your answer. Now if you'd like to do number 11 for some practice, number 11 is kind of a cool problem because what happens is that a lot of your terms will cancel. You'll get some opposites. You'll get x to the third plus 8. So if you want to check it to see if it works, go ahead and do that. That is the end of notes for today.